How to protect your business through scenario planning. Years ago, small businesses would source products locally. Even though they may be able to purchase a product at a lower cost overseas, the cost of shipping and importing these products was very expensive. This meant that disruptions in getting products to market were relatively predictable. The suppliers, the sellers, and buyers for the products were all local, so they were subjected to the same economic and environmental conditions. In a global economy, the cost of importing goods has decreased dramatically, and businesses now source products from many parts of the world. With this freedom to source from many areas of the world comes a new set of issues to the business owner. Volatile currency exchange rates, along with disruptions in the supply chain from earthquakes, fires, flooding, and political instability in Asia or Europe, can potentially destroy a local business overnight. Most companies do not plan for these issues until it's too late. Desperately sourcing new suppliers for goods that you've already received orders for can start a negative business spiral that can increase expenses, reduce margins, and creates bad customer relations. Successful companies now realize that they must reduce this risk to their business by developing contingency plans before a crisis occurs. To develop these plans, they use a process called scenario planning. Scenario planning allows a business to investigate and create alternative plans to ensure their business is secured against disruptions from external forces outside of their control. In this video, we will review the steps to effective scenario planning. Step number 1 in scenario planning is to define the objective. In our business example, we're going to look at a company's supply chain. Our business has 20% of the product line representing 80% of the bottom line profit. We find that 90% of the profitable product line comes from Asia and Europe. Typically, our lead times from these suppliers is 4 weeks. We keep a small inventory for emergencies in Canada. So we have determined that we rely heavily on the supply chain to keep inventory low and to meet customer service levels. Based on this information, we decide that our objective is to review possible scenarios that adversely affect our supply chain. We will review how the business parameters of cash flow, inventory, cost of sales, and lead times are affected. We decide to select team members involved with supply chain, including purchasing, inventory, manufacturing if there is any component done here, and shipping. Step number 2 is to define key drivers that affect the supply chain scenarios. In this case, we will look at our product suppliers and the logistic companies involved in delivering the goods to our location. Step number 3 is to collect data. We contact the suppliers and logistic companies to ask for their scenario plans. Do they rely on one plant to manufacture the goods? How many down days do they have each year over the last 5 years? What if a labor strike or natural disaster were to hit their plant? What is their plan to minimize product supply delays? What plans does the shipper have if a weather issue closes their main hub? Step number 4 is to create the scenarios that are based on the data collected. Is there a time of year risk to any parts of the supply chain due to weather? What happens if political tensions or natural disasters affect the country where the main plant for the manufacturer is located? These scenarios need to be tested to see their effect on cash flow, the ability to meet orders, inventory levels, as defined in Step 1. Step number 5 is to present the scenarios to management and decide which ones have the greatest risk to the business. We then create strategies and contingency plans, such as increasing inventory during known times of bad weather in the region of the supplier, or investigate using other suppliers or logistic companies from different regions. Perhaps a logistic company can inventory a defined number of high-moving profitable products as part of our contingency plan. Finally, these plans must be revisited on a regular basis to be updated based on changes with suppliers and logistic companies and companies' objectives. In a worldwide economy, a snowstorm in Europe or a flash flood in Asia could have an adverse effect on your cash flow and business growth. Call us at Numbers Plus today. We can show you how to easily integrate scenario planning into your business model to minimize risk and keep more money in your pocket.